We're back under the lights at Ross-Ade Stadium, a sellout crowd of 65,196 watching on homecoming weekend. This arguably the most important, the biggest game in decades at home for Purdue. They come in ranked number 5 in the nation, but right now need a stop on 3rd and 22 against Wisconsin.
Mark, right now would be a 52-yard field goal. What's the best play Wisconsin has to just gain back some yardage right here?
Stocco down the middle, picked off. With blockers, it's Hall. George Hall. Run down from behind at the 35 by Daniels.
Mark, what everybody's been wanting to see. When John Stocco has to make a play, what does he do? Right here, again, we come with the corner blitz, and flat should not have been thrown, and that is George Hall, the middle linebacker, Mark, coming from deep free safety position, though. I mean, he was as deep as any linebacker I've seen, and he can run. I mean, that's 252 pounds, and Owen Daniels, great job of tracking him down from behind.
That's Purdue's 3rd interception on defense this season. After the 44-yard return, it's 1st and 10 at Wisconsin's 36. Orton out of the shotgun. Looking for the out and up. Has Stubblefield. Incomplete and a flag down. Scott Starks, number 2 for Wisconsin, involved in that collision. Starks apparently running right through Ray Williams, number 2, the intended receiver.
Mark, no question that has to be called tough on Scott Starks because the ball is underthrown. Ray Williams is trying to come back to the football, but you have to call it.
Starks out of Hazelwood East in St. Louis, same school as Brandon Williams, his teammate.
Mark, I think one of the most difficult things for a defensive back is when the ball is underthrown and the receiver comes back. Right here, that ball is underthrown, and you're going to see Ray Williams try to come back to the football, and Starks interference.
1st down and 10 after the penalty.
Again, Charles Davis, Mark.
There's Boyd on the carry. Boyd trying to get to the perimeter. Put his hat down at the 17 on Brett Bell. It'll be 2nd down and about 8 to go.
Mark, right here, again, as you see Ray Williams try to come back for the football, obviously that has to be called. If that ball would have been thrown on target or deep enough, Scott Starks would have been in great position. But because it was underthrown, he impeded Ray Williams' progress back to the football.
Charles Davis not in the ball game right now. Actually, he is in the ball game on the right side of the offensive line. Davis a big factor in the last play. And Orton wisely throws this one away. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. Oklahoma State unbeaten on their home field, but having all sorts of trouble with Texas A&M. Reggie McNeil from 3 yards out. They missed the extra point. Oklahoma State trails by 20 on their home field. Cal looking to bounce back from the USC game, up 14-6 on UCLA. Aaron Rodgers has a touchdown.
The Cal USC game last week, one of the more entertaining ones on the year. 3rd down and 6 for Orton.
Mark, again, will they double Taylor Stubblefield?
Orton with all kinds of time. Into the end zone, Stubblefield, and it's through the end zone. We haven't seen Orton have that much time with the regular guys like James and Hawthorne and Welsh in the ball game.
Mark, I agree. And what Kyle Orton wanted to do, he wanted to go to Stubblefield on the option route right here. Watch him break back out. Now, because Orton doesn't deliver, the scramble rule kicks in, and Taylor Stubblefield works up the field. But again, man-to-man coverage. Wisconsin, the ability and scheme to mix it up and play some man-to-man.
Ben Jones, the special teams player of the week in the Big Ten Conference, in for the 35-yard field goal, and he knocks it through to give Purdue a 10-7 lead. He is now 7 of 9 on the season. Purdue leading by a field goal when we return to Ross-Ade. We're on the banks of the Wabash River here in West Lafayette, Indiana. Purdue taking a 10-7 lead on that 35-yard field goal by Ben Jones. Kyle Orton, well, it hasn't been pretty for him today. He's the Heisman frontrunner, but all that counts in the end is what's on the scoreboard. Goldsberry lighting up the crowd, number 44. One of these teams will not be unbeaten anymore after this game. There were 14 unbeaten teams in the nation when this day began. At the 5-yard line, it's Williams. And Williams can be brought down to the 23, but there's a flag down at the 20-yard line. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Mark. Boise State took a 21-7 lead on Tulsa thanks to a halfback option, but don't count the Golden Hurricanes out just yet. That's Ashlyn Davis from his own end zone, and Ashlyn's going to go untouched 100 yards. It's a 7-point game in Oklahoma, 21-14.
All right, Matt, back here, we'll see how John Stocco responds after throwing that interception on the last series. And let's go back and look at that interception.
Mark, this is going to be football 101 because I was trying to figure out what they did. I want you to watch George Hall right here, the linebacker. They're going to play 2 deep, but this is something you call the Tampa Bay cover 2, where the middle linebacker drops deep in the middle of that field, and it almost ends up like 3 deep. That's the linebacker back there who intercepts that ball. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Monty Kiffin, every college team in the country now calls it Tampa Bay cover 2. You run that linebacker deep down the middle of the field.
Brock's back. Called the right play on that pick. Incomplete that time. Stocco to Darren Charles. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Mark, I want to go back to this point. Wisconsin's football team definitely took a hit with the Erasmus James, Jonathan Welsh on that sidelines. Sometimes that shocks your football team a little bit when you lose guys like that. And all of a sudden, this football team seems a little bit less confident right now, a little bit unraveled as this game progresses without those guys in the game.
A couple of key cogs defensively for them. Right now, it's up to their offense on 2nd down and 10. Stocco working out of the shotgun. Gives it to Booker Stanley. Stanley's still in the ball game for Anthony Davis. Had been Davis most of the afternoon. Stocco, well, this is his time. John Stocco had a chance to speak with him recently. He said, hey, John, your squad is undefeated. You're the starting quarterback. What's it like walking around campus? He said that, well, funny you would ask, Mark. In my life science class a little bit ago, a professor was giving me a little shout out, a lot of love, getting a lot of high fives from students. Looking forward to this, the big game. And, well, if he wins, it'll be a different scene. If he loses, it'll be not as good up back on campus in Madison.
Mark, see how he bounces back. The last ball he threw was intercepted.
Stocco falls forward to the 23-yard line, close to the 1st down. Brought down by Anthony Spencer. There'll be 4th down coming up for Barry Alvarez.
Mark, this Anthony Spencer is a football player, number 49 right here at the bottom. Watch him redirect his steps and delivers a lick right here. He was the lineman of the year in Indiana high school football out of Fort Wayne. He's been injured the last couple years. He's had some different injuries, but when he's healthy, he is really good.
The Bush punting on 4th and 1, standing on his own 8. Here's Cunningham going to get an opportunity to return this from his own 30. Ran into his own man. Falls forward to the 36, lost the ball. Say he was down. It's Purdue ball. A 48-yard punt and 6 on the return. Ran right into his own teammate, number 22, Jerome Brooks. Sometimes you're not quite on the own frequency and can't get out of your own way. Purdue with the ball when we come back. Purdue 1st down and 10 with the ball. 10-7 leaders on the scoreboard with just under 12 minutes to go in the 2nd half. Kyle Orton, the quarterback, 17 of 31 passing for 152 yards. 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Keep in mind that the Boilermaker offense has scored on its last 2 offensive possessions. Touchdown followed by a field goal. Starks involved in a pass interference in the end zone on the last series. Brandon Jones is the new tailback for Purdue. Here he is on the carry. Gaping hole for Jones. out to the 44. One of the big stories in the ball game, their injuries up front on the defensive line for Wisconsin. Welsh was hurt on that play, Jonathan Welsh. He went out early, and then Erasmus James hurt on that chop block by Charles Davis. Tried to come back in, played for a couple of plays, and then had to come back out. And it is very unlikely that he will return for the rest of the night. Hawthorne was also injured, but he since has returned. 2nd down and 1 on the top. Jones with the first down beyond the 45 to the 46. Starks making the stop.
Well, again, Purdue going on the quick count. Run the toss sweep, a good play to run on a quick count, but this is not that different for Joe Tiller running the football. I look back in 1999, Mark, he threw the football 68% of the time for the season. In 2000, he threw it 63% of the time. Last year, he only threw it 43% of the time. So he has been running the football more later in his career here at Purdue.
1st down and 10. It's Jones as they run it again and finding success down to the 46 of Wisconsin. Got about 7 on that chunk. Take a look at the Yamaha game track as Anthony Davis breaks through to put Wisconsin on the board first. It was 7-0 at that point. He has since become the 10th leading rusher in conference history. Orton to Davis. Dr. Chop block with the touchdown catch. And then the defense, the big pick that time by George Hall, the middle linebacker. A 44-yard return on the interception to set up the field goal, and it's 10-7. 2nd down and 2. Jones spinning forward for the first down at the 43-yard line. Jim Leonard making the stop.
Brandon Jones, Mark, a guy that has 4 career 100-yard games. And it's kind of odd right now. You see Purdue huddling up, taking their time, using the clock a little bit, running the football. But I think you've seen the evolution of Joe Tiller's offense during his time here at Purdue. I mean, they are capable of lining up and running the football now because overall they have more talented players. Here they mix it up and go empty bunch formation.
Bob with 11 second-half first down. A different-looking offense from the first half. Open, Stubblefield, first down at the 22-yard line. Orton says, how do you like me now? You can't keep the genie in the bottle for long.
And Mark, this corner route is an excellent call. You're going to watch Stubblefield come out of the bunch and run a corner route against cover 2, and there's a lot of space up here to throw the football. This is an excellent call out of the bunch formation. Watch him break right there to the corner, in behind the corner, outside the safety. That is a well-designed play against 2 deep cover.
First down and 10 as a result. The toss and the reverse to Williams. Williams knocked out of bounds at the 14. Ray Williams using his speed. With about 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4.
Purdue getting creative, Mark, in the running game. That time they come with the reverse to Ray Williams. Right there, Jimmy Leonard may have been hitting the back a little bit on that block. You see Kyle Ingram out in the open field, kind of like a pinball. Gets one block, but gets blocked himself.
Here's Jones between the tackles, down to the 10-yard line and near a first down. He's going to get a good spot. And this is going to set up 1st and goal for the Boilermakers. Jones nodding his head. Bielema looking for the right call to slow this offense, which here in the second half has gained a lot of momentum.
Mark, and all of a sudden, you look at if Purdue can score, and it's a 17-7 game. Wisconsin's offense that's really been struggling. Can they come back and score 10 points? So this is a huge series right here for the Wisconsin defense. Hold Purdue to 3 points, make it a 1-touchdown, 1-score game, Mark, because Wisconsin's not capable of scoring a lot of points.
They run the toss into the boundary. Jones still on his feet. And Jones down to the 7-yard line. What would Barry Alvarez do to have Erasmus James back in the ballgame along with Jonathan Welsh? Alvarez's team 6-0 coming in, 3-0 undefeated in conference play.
Mark, right now for the football game, Purdue's run 63 plays, 31 runs, and 32 passes. So balanced by necessity in this football game for Purdue.
Hawthorne trying to hold it down in the middle, number 77 for the Badgers. On 2nd down and goal. Orton. They're trying to do it himself. Strike the pose. Kyle Orton.
Mark, that is not the same kid athletically that I stood on this field 4 years ago coaching my last game against. He has come so far in his development as a scrambler.
Purdue rallying with 16 unanswered points after trailing 7-0. And now 17 unanswered points. That was the first rushing touchdown allowed by Wisconsin's defense this season. Kyle Orton says, you guys know about my arm, but you don't know about these feet. Kyle Orton styling, profiling, high stepping into the end zone, giving his team a 10-point lead when we come back to Ross-Ade.
ESPN2's College Football Saturday Primetime. Brought to you by Wendy's Chicken Temptations. It's better here. And Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward.
Purdue with the lead 17-7. Kyle Orton running it in on the last possession to give his team that 10-point margin. The emotions flowing freely down on the field right now on both sides of the field. An interesting exchange on the Badger sidelines a few moments ago as Purdue kicks off down to the 3. It's Williams. And Williams pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line. During the last commercial, here's what it looked like on the Wisconsin side. Erasmus James out of this game right now because of an injured ankle. Looking at Jamal Cooper, pumping him up.
Mark, as long as that's done in a positive way, that's a huge positive. I mean, that's Erasmus James, a leader on this football team over there. But no question the tempo of this football game changed when Erasmus James and Jonathan Welsh, who left the football game in the first half, went out.
Purdue in the midst of a 17-0 run.
And now we're going to find out about young John Stocco, Mark.
First down and 10. Stocco to Williams. Williams turns it upfield out to the 43-yard line, and Wisconsin has to work quickly with 7:48 to go.
Mark, you want to see how you beat Tampa Bay cover 2. Watch right here, the middle linebackers. We let this roll. Right here, I want you to watch Hall, the middle linebacker, run out of there. That vacates. Look at this huge crevice in the middle of that football field now. So if you're going to run that linebacker out of there that deep, throw the football underneath on that crossing route.
Booker Stanley in is the only tailback. Stocco over the middle, completes it down to the 39-yard line to Darren Charles with 7:27 to go. Bob, interesting that Booker Stanley has been in for most of the plays here in the second half. You have to wonder about the health of Anthony Davis.
Mark, I think you bring up a great point, because no way would Booker Stanley, in my opinion, be in here 2 straight series like that if something was not bothering Anthony Davis. But how about young John Stocco stepping up, Mark? And Darren Charles has become the go-to receiver on this football team the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, 16-yard pickup followed by an 18-yard pickup right there by Charles. First down and 10. Pressure coming. Stocco steps up and dropped by Kyle Smith. Should have been picked off. Kyle Smith had it in his arms.
Mark, you see the young quarterback. This time, Brock Spock's going to come with the corner five. They end up with one-on-one coverage with the safety and Darren Charles. This football should have been thrown on the outside right here. Look at Darren Charles. He throws the football, overthrows down the middle of the field, Mark. He had Darren Charles. Look out there on the outside of that football field, wide open.
Smith certainly wants that one back. Second down and 10 for Stocco out of the shotgun. Blitz coming off the edge again. They pick it up. And it's Williams underneath again. Williams doing work down to the 17-yard line. First and 10, under 7 minutes to go. And Wisconsin threatening now on the 23-yard pickup by Brandon Williams.
And Stocco has found something. Wisconsin's found something, Mark, on these little underneath crossing routes. Purdue brings the strong safety blitz. They get the little high-low, and Brandon Williams again. And Purdue right now, a tired-looking defense, particularly George Hall, number 30.
Got them back on their heels a little bit. First down and 10. Stocco. Pass complete at the 13-yard line. That's Brandon White.
Pass complete to Brandon White.
White out of Florida. 6'3" junior makes the catch with 6:25 to go in the fourth quarter. Wisconsin trying to stay unbeaten at 6-0 coming in. Purdue also trying to stay unbeaten. They were 5-0 coming in. Neither team has lost in Big Ten Conference play.
Obviously, Mark, you see Perry Alvarez looking up at that clock. I think a great point. I mean, that is not Anthony Davis back there in the backfield. This is John Stocco's show right now, Mark.
Stocco completes it to Williams. Williams has been his main man and main target. It's going to be first down and goal to go for Wisconsin with 5:56 to go.
Again on the crossing route for Stocco.
Brandon Williams, missed spring with a leg operation, but has certainly recovered now and looking good on this drive, Bob.
Mark, you're right. And the clock, in my opinion, becomes a bit of a factor right now as we go down to 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. You see Anthony Davis over there in the sidelines, Mark. Something is definitely wrong.
Gotta be. Stocco underneath the Booker Stanley. Stanley, touchdown, Wisconsin.
Wow.
John Stocco marches his team to the beat down the field, and now Wisconsin, with a good extra point to follow, could be within a field goal.
Mark, was that Purdue on offense? It just took
Looked like
all the length of the
they
field, throwing it every down.
Who would have thought? Looked like they switched jerseys there for a second. As Stocco goes to the sidelines. Allen in for the extra point. It's a 17-14 game as Wisconsin puts a tourniquet on the bleeding and stops that 17-0 run by Purdue.
Mark, that was an impressive drive. Barry Alvarez now part of Air Wisconsin, and you have to love Stocco coming back. On the previous series, he had thrown an interception.
Booker Stanley on the reception. Filling in for Anthony Davis. This is his moment with his first career touchdown reception.
Phil Fulmer and David Cutcliffe might like to have Mannings at their disposal. They'll go with their gut in the rivalry that has divided families since 1902 at the top of the hour.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ross-Ade Stadium. Over 65,000 on homecoming weekend, watching Purdue lead by a tenuous 3 points. Kyle Orton set to take the field after the kickoff. Can he answer that 6 of 7 passing performance by his counterpart, John Stocco, on the last Wisconsin drive? There's a look at Orton's numbers on the day. Jerome Brooks back deep, standing on his own 5-yard line for the Boilermakers.
And Mark, this is a talented Jerome Brooks, this returner right here for Purdue.
Taylor Meloff to kick off. Kicking into the wind. At the 2 is Brooks. Brooks bottled up at the 17-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. And don't forget, last week, Phil Fulmer's Tennessee Volunteers knocked off Georgia in a huge upset. And this weekend, they take on Ole Miss. College Football Saturday primetime on ESPN2 tonight at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Eric Ainge holding it down, looking impressive at quarterback last week for the Volunteers.
But Tennessee blown out at home by Auburn.
Strange.
Goes to Georgia. That's almost as strange as Wisconsin's offense struggling so much here in the second half. Can't make a first down. All of a sudden, they throw the football and go the length of the field, Mark.
Eric Ainge, one of the talented freshmen. Anthony Davis watching from the sidelines. It was Booker Stanley in on the last drive at tailback. First down and 10 for Kyle Orton in Purdue. Pass complete to Hara. And speaking of Anthony Davis, let's go downstairs to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, I was able to ask a member of the Wisconsin training staff if anything was wrong with Anthony Davis. He says, no, not that I know of. I saw him then walk over to Anthony and say, hey, man, are you okay? Anthony shook his head like everything's fine. He's got his gloves on. He's got his helmet. Looks like he's ready to play. And, guys, as far as we can tell here, nothing wrong with Anthony Davis.
All right, Holly, thank you. And second down and 4. Orton slides in at the 25. It'll set up a third down and about 3 to go. Kyle Orton has done a lot scrambling using his legs and not his arm today. Ran for a touchdown from 18 yards out earlier in this quarter.
Mark, I think we really do have to compliment Brett Bielema, the new defensive coordinator from Wisconsin. I mean, bottom line, this is a much, much improved Wisconsin defense over what we saw a year ago. Obviously, they've got good players, but I think he's done a great job scheme-wise, and he's definitely kept Purdue, made it hard on Purdue. They've worked for everything they've gotten tonight.
Bielema has had some good mentors, as I mentioned. Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, Snyder at Kansas State, and now Coach Alvarez here at Wisconsin. Purdue calling a timeout. Both teams with a couple remaining, and the chess game intensifies on the sidelines. We'll be back with the finish right after this. Kyle Orton standing and reaching a crossroads in his Heisman campaign. Today is the day, as the song just sang, and there's a look at his numbers, 19 to 33, a touchdown and a pick.
Mark, he's always looked for Taylor Stubblefield in these kind of situations. They do have a lot more balance, but it's man-to-man coverage. Scott Starks on Taylor Stubblefield down here at the bottom.
Orton calls his own number, lunging, and he got the first down at the 29-yard line. Dialed up his own play.
Mark, that is unbelievable, isn't it? And the reason I say that, 4 years ago, no way did you ever think about defending quarterback draw against Kyle Orton, a.k.a. Drew Brees now, doing it all, running out of that shotgun, Mark.
Little shake in the hole to set himself free. First down and 10.
And now that makes the clock a huge factor, that first down.
Wisconsin with 2 timeouts remaining. Handed off to Boyd, and Boyd is brought down at the line of scrimmage to 29 by Hawthorne and Jamal Cooper. If you're just joining us, keep in mind that Erasmus James was knocked out of this game in the second quarter, now on the sidelines. James, a big part of that Badger defense, had a couple of sacks before he was forced to leave.
No, he's licking his chops, Mark, because they don't block Jamal Cooper on this play. Or at least maybe they tried to block him, but they couldn't block him.
Little Matador defense and offense on that one. That's
Right,
for a block.
and right now you have to think that Barry Alvarez will call timeout after this play.
Toss sweep to Boyd, has a blocker out in front of him. Boyd with a nice run out to the 38-yard line. It'll set up a third down and about 2 to go. Crooks made the stop on defense for Wisconsin. And Barry Alvarez signaling for that timeout after the 9-yard gain. So they've got 1 remaining. Purdue has 2. This is a huge 2-week stretch for Kyle Orton and Purdue. Wisconsin tonight, followed by Michigan next week.
Mark, you're exactly right, and it's not going to get any easier for Purdue because Michigan, in my opinion, the most improving, if not the most improved football team in the country with the freshman quarterback and the freshman tailback, and their defense will lock on you now.
Let's go back to the studio on Matt Weiner.
Mark, coming up in just a few moments' time, Tennessee and Ole Miss. The Rebels have to worry about the two quarterbacks. Don't forget about the running backs. Riggs and Houston combined for more than 800 yards already.
And we're told that Peyton and Eli Manning both expected to be at that football game down there.
And I'll tell you what, Kyle Orton reminds me a lot of Peyton Manning.
Says he watches him a lot. You know, he picked up the whole thing with the dummy signals, the fake hand signals from Peyton Manning, the way he manages the clock.
And I'll tell you one thing he has. He has that gun. He can flat throw the football. In my opinion, Kyle Orton is a sure top 10 or 15 draft pick in the NFL, Mark.
It was interesting to see the young man deal with all the distractions of the Heisman campaign. I mentioned I went to one of his classes, watched him do a 10-minute presentation that was pretty smooth, and then you think about all he has been through. You mentioned it earlier, Bob, and how 2 years ago as a sophomore suffered a concussion in his game, lost his starting job, came back and ended up the MVP of their Sun Bowl victory. 3rd down and 3, looking to hang on to the ball in possession. Orton dials up his own number again. Orton put it on the ground. It's still live. Wisconsin ball starts. What a turnaround. A cataclysmic turn of events. Touchdown Badgers. Starts.
Mark, obviously, we're going to look at this again. Obviously, it's reviewable. And that's why we have instant replay in the Big Ten. Let's go ahead and look at it right away. He comes out on a naked boot. Great call. Put the ball away, though, Kyle. Put the ball away. Right there, he puts the ball in the wrong hand.
It was loose,
That
Bob.
ball was loose.
That's a fumble.
And, Mark, he had the football in the wrong hand. That ball should be out here. That's out. That's a fumble, Mark.
Robert Brooks made the big hit on Orton. Starks was there to pick it up, and he had a convoy of blockers. Davis almost got him.
And, Mark, if we go back and look at that again, is there a fine line between winning and losing? Obviously, everyone in this stadium is waiting to look at the replay. That ball was out. He did not have the possession of that football on the way down.
The official talking to the technical advisor. They are getting word as to the result of this play.
Let's look at it again. First mistake, he puts the ball in the left hand as he's getting inside out. That's out, Mark.
Yeah.
That's a fumble.
Starks actually...
That's going that way. It's a touchdown. I'm going to help him out in the replay booth right now.
Starks actually made the hit, Bob, right there, lowering his shoulder. And Brooks came in to jar it loose. It's a touchdown, Wisconsin. So Kyle Orton and Purdue looked as if they had the first down on the call on the bootleg. It would have kept the clock running and them in possession. Instead, Starks pleading with the heavens, saying thanks.
And let me make this point, Mark. There's 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in this football game, Scott Starks. You have to go back and play defense right now. This football game is not over, but what an unbelievable, Mark, turn of events.
With 2:36 to go, Starks got the loose ball, ran it in from 40 yards out. High snap.
That's big.
And it's blocked. It's still a field goal. They can return this. Pollard got in there and blocked it. And now the margin is just 3 points. It's not 4. That is huge. That has big consequences. Bernard Pollard blocked the extra point.
Last week, we were on ESPN Classic, right?
Yeah.
The first time ever ESPN Classic did a live game. This game tonight is going to come down and be a classic.
Kyle Orton, Bob, being encouraged on the sidelines. Maybe that would have been his Heisman drive.
Mark, let's look again from the right side of the screen. A great block right there. Bernard Pollard, number 31. Watch, he leaps over the blocker and just smothers that thing in the chest. But, Mark, let's set the stage. 2 undefeated football teams. And let's go back. All those people out there that say, come up with little nitpick reasons why we don't want replay in the Big Ten. Aren't you glad right now we have instant replay?
That's a defining moment for the advancement of the cause of technical advisors and replays. As I start to say, Kyle Orton on the sidelines right now. He's going to get another chance. He might have had his Heisman moment destroyed on that last fumble return for a touchdown, but he will get one more opportunity to salvage not only the game, but perhaps the Heisman. 2:36 to go.
Mark, once again, it comes down to maybe one of the nation's best offenses, definitely the nation's best defense right now statistically.
Geloff's kickoff comes down to the 1, and it's fumbled there by Brooks. And Brooks is brought down inside the 20 at the 13-yard line.
Mark, and that's the second time Jerome Brooks has caught that football like a wide receiver. The first time he had an excellent return. That time he didn't. Normally the deep returner gets deeper than the ball, catches it going forward, and catches it in his chest a little bit more. So obviously poor field position right now for Purdue.
Kyle Orton back onto the field. As a freshman, he got lit up many times. As a sophomore, he lost his job and came back. As a junior, he made his mark. And now as a senior, looking for that indelible imprint with perhaps a comeback victory. They hand it off to Jones. And Jones is out to the 23-yard line. Purdue with 2 timeouts remaining and 2:22 on the clock.
And right now, Mark, Erasmus James and Jonathan Welsh on the sidelines. Joe Monty and Jamal Cooper, the 2 young defensive ends in the game.
Orton looking to the sidelines now over the middle. Using up valuable time. And wisely throws it away in the direction of Ray Williams. Keep in mind that Purdue has a very good place kicker in Ben Jones. But they have to get him in field goal range. Last week, he kicked a 50-yarder against the Buckeyes. Pardon me, against Penn State.
And they also have 2 timeouts, and they also have, Mark, the wind at their back.
There's a look at Jones on the sidelines. Made one from 50 last week against Penn State. Good career numbers. Missed one from 51 last week, but it bounced off the upright. He had plenty of legs. 3rd down and 1. They need to convert here. Oh, it's going to be close. Not sure they got it. Kevin Barrett inside one of those fill-ins.
Mark, it looks like they made it right here. Obviously, it all depends on the spot. I mean, it's going to be close. I think they made it.
There's Gerard Boyd on the run. They're going to measure.
What's hard right now for Purdue is calling the next play, Mark. They're obviously going to wait and see what this measurement is, but they don't want to use a timeout right here unless it is 4th and 1.
Oh, they made it. 1st down and 10, albeit at just the 24-yard line. Boyd dinged up a little bit on that last run. It's been a game of attrition.
And Mark, you see Gerard Boyd up in there, but we have Taylor Stubblefield, the all-time Big Ten receptions leader. We have Kyle Orton, the potential Heisman Trophy winner.
Start running the clock. 1:53 and counting. Orton underneath to Williams. It's going to be ruled complete. Starks made the stop.
He was almost better off dropping that one, Mark, from the time standpoint.
Yeah. Orton drilled that in. 1:36 to go. Pass complete to Ingram. Has a 1st down at the 38-yard line and 1:30 to go. Orton barking out the call.
Mark, no Erasmus James in the game. Let's go back. Number 90, maybe the best pass rusher in the country, on the sidelines right now. That changes the dynamics of this game right now.
Where is Taylor Stubblefield? We should hear from him at some point. Orton fires a little bit high, incomplete. It was intended for Stubblefield.
And Wisconsin, Mark, playing a lot of 2-deep zone coverage right now.
Bob, the one thing you really notice about the passing game of Purdue today, they have not been able to throw the ball downfield at all.
Exactly, Mark.
Don't forget, number 14, Tennessee against Ole Miss coming up next. Erasmus James watching anxiously from the sidelines. Out of the game as a result of an injury. 2nd and 10 for the Boilermakers from their own 37. Orton. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Intended for Bryant. LeVon Rowan pushed him out of bounds.
Get a chance to see on the sidelines over here once again the freshman wide receiver Dorian Bryant. Excellent protection again for Kyle Orton.
Oh, he had a foot in.
Oh, it didn't look like he was in.
He had a foot in bounds. Now, is this being reviewed?
It'll be reviewed. That's the beauty of the Big Ten, Mark. Don't lose confidence in the system.
They should reverse this one when it's reviewed. The bottom line, if you get it right, time really shouldn't be a consideration.
Mark, let's look at it again. Slow it down. He has possession. He has a foot in bounds. Obviously, right here, he has a better angle. But to me, he was looking down at the feet of the receiver. Obviously, his feet were in bounds. The only question is, did he have possession? I think it's a catch. Is this our instant replay guy down there? Huh? That's our guy right there.
He's making a call.
Watch right here. Here's a better angle to look at it. The foot is down.
He's got the ball,
He has
too.
possession, Mark.
We got to see where they mark this one, if they indeed rule it complete.
I mean, that's
It was
close.
out near midfield. And that moves the ball a little bit more into field goal range for Purdue. Play is under review from the technical advisor.
Mark, I mean, that is really close.
Kyle Orton, the Heisman Trophy contender, perhaps the front runner, trying to salvage that.
And Mark, how that rule is written, obviously, it has to be indisputable evidence that he did catch it and have possession and get 1 foot down. That's a close call. Again, it looked to me, he has possession, he does have a foot down.
Dorian Bryant, the freshman.
It's a catch.
Yep. I'm still trying to see exactly where he was on the field. It was out near midfield at about the 47-yard line. Not only do they have to make the ruling, they got to spot the ball and spot it in the proper place. We've seen that be problematic in the past.
I think the key thing is indisputable evidence.
After review, there is indisputable video evidence that it was a catch. The ball will be placed on the 46-yard line, 3rd down.
46-yard line.
There you go.
So they advance it.
I mean, this is what you call indisputable, I guess. Right there, the right foot is down. That's a catch. I think that's a good call.
And that much closer to field goal range for Ben Jones, the place kicker. 3rd down and 2. They've got to get to the 48.
And the beauty, Mark, Purdue has not used a timeout. They still have 2 timeouts with 1:18 left.
Orton working out of the shotgun. Incomplete, intended for Stubblefield. It hasn't been their day. Stubblefield had to twist around to make the catch. It'll be 4th and 2.
You have to credit Brett Bell, the outstanding corner from Wisconsin. I mean, he's done a good job on Taylor Stubblefield.
Purdue is 3 of 5 on 4th down conversions this season. And this is the ball game for them. They want to give Ben Jones an opportunity to let it fly.
Mark, I don't think it'll be quarterback draw or bootleg here. He's going to throw this football.
Last time in this situation, we fumbled. Orton has to throw it, and he does. 1st down at the 45. Bryant with the catch.
And Mark, no need to use a timeout right here. If you're Purdue, the clock stops in college football with a 1st down. And how about the legs again of Kyle Orton? And the young freshman receiver. That's a freshman out there.
Dorian Bryant has made the last 2 receptions for them. And now a timeout call.
That's a good timeout right there by Wisconsin, Mark. I think an excellent timeout because there's a tendency, if you're Wisconsin, when the opponent converts, when Purdue converts on 4th down, that you may let down a little bit. And I think an excellent use of timeout right there by Brett Bielema.
Don't forget, folks, Tennessee, number 14 in the country, taking on Ole Miss. That's coming up next. As Eric Ainge leads the offensive Volunteers, which has been hot in the last couple of games. This game was a 3-point game last year, and after Wisconsin tied it on this Jim Leonard punt return, the Big Ten's all-time leader in punt return yardage, with a big one here to tie the game up. But Orton marched them downfield, and Ray Williams made a big catch in that drive. Set up the game-winning field goal from 18 yards out by Ben Jones. Will we see a repeat? Keep in mind that the last 3 contests in this series, actually the last 4 games between these two teams, has been decided by less than 6 points. And one of them went into overtime.
And Mark, Wisconsin still with 2 timeouts left. They had 2 timeouts when they started this drive. They have not had to use one. They have the whole toolbox as far as plays. Draw is not a bad play right here. Shuffle pass to the running back is not a bad play. So they can do it all because they still have 2 timeouts.
On first down and 10 from Wisconsin's 45, Kyle Orton. Over the middle, incomplete. He was looking at Stubblefield the entire way, but Brett Bell was right there with him. It'll be second down and 10 with 1:04 to go.
Again, Mark, they doubled Taylor Stubblefield again. Watch Jim Leonard and Brett Bell. They're inside, outside on him with 2 defenders. I'm surprised that Kyle Orton would continue to go to him right there. But once again, that's Kyle Orton's safety net, Taylor Stubblefield. They've been together in a long time.
Had a little bit of recent success with the freshman Dorian Bryant, too.
Mark, with only 5 in that box, a run is not a bad call now.
And a pass instead. Orton complete to Bryant. There's the freshman with another key grab down to the 38-yard line. He'll be about 4 yards short of the first down. He was working on Rowan. And the clock stops with 53 seconds to go. Still more or less on the fringe of field goal range for Ben Jones, but he will have a slight wind at his back. Wisconsin out of timeouts. Purdue with 1 remaining.
And Mark, this is 2-down territory in my opinion right here. 3rd down and 4. From right here, it would be a 56-yard field goal, I think, for Ben Jones.
He has plenty of leg. Ben Jones is the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week. Last year against Wisconsin, he kicked 4 field goals. Today, he has 1. Had a career day last year against the Badgers. Says he loves kicking under the intense spotlight, especially on the road, albeit he has the help of having the home fans with him tonight.
Mark, on this 3rd down, if Purdue does throw the football, I know they want to go to Taylor Stubblefield, all-time Big Ten career receiving leader as far as receptions, but he probably will get double covered right here. So Kyle Ingram, the freshman Dorian Bryant, become factors in this situation because they have been doubling Taylor Stubblefield.
Do you think Orton tries to run it again himself?
I don't think much. My only question is, do you run it if you're Purdue because you know you're going to come back on 4th down and go for it? I think they'll probably throw the football.
3rd down and 3. Orton on the quick slant, complete. First down at the 22-yard line. Ingram working on Rowan.
Mark, that's 6'8" on that slant. But how about Kyle Orton throwing that thing in there? Now, if you're Purdue, be aggressive, but also protect that football, Mark.
A Heisman moment for quarterback Kyle Orton.
And Mark, let's go back to the blocked extra point by Bernard Pollard right now. It's a 3-point game, not a 4-point game, which is huge.
Little malfunction, Bob, at the junction with the chains.
Barry's chewing on those guys over there, too. He's chewing a little bit at the chain guys.
Giving Purdue a little bit of time.
Look, I mean, you know how tough that is. That's like taking Christmas lights off the Christmas tree and like your wife over there
just watching,
just hollering,
flail away.
And, you know, that's a tough enough job, Barry. Let the guy go, man.
1st and 10. Purdue with a timeout remaining. And if for that extra point to have that one over again. The visiting team has won the last 3 times in a row in this series. Purdue looking to snap that trend tonight. Under the lights in front of a sellout crowd on homecoming.
Wisconsin does an excellent job, Mark, of stripping the football. So if you're Purdue, protect the football.
Orton on the out and up. Bryant couldn't squeeze it. Knocked away nicely by Chucky Cowens defending on the play.
And Mark, you have Chucky Cowens locked on the freshman Dorian Bryant. Excellent coverage by Cowens. Wow, Mark, that football
hit Bryant.
Should have been cut. It did, no question.
Hit Bryant in the hands. Can't fault the young freshman too much, though. He's made 2 key catches for first downs on this drive. This is the 14th play of the Purdue drive. Orton going to take a sack back at the 25, which hurts them just a little bit. Going to be third down and about 14 to go. They've got to get down to the 12 for the first down. At first, Bob, they may have had the option of thinking perhaps touchdown, but now perhaps more just a field goal.
Exactly, Mark. And Purdue uses their last timeout.
Ben Jones, the transfer from Butler, came to Purdue a couple of years ago. As I mentioned, the special teams co-player of the week in the conference last year, had 4 field goals against Wisconsin in that victory. And on his career, he is 11 for 11 from that distance where he'd be kicking if they didn't advance the ball.
And one thing really important, obviously, with 32 seconds, Purdue no timeouts. The good news, they have plenty of time. If they do not convert a first down, or if the football does not go out of bounds or any clock stoppage, they can get their field goal team out there in time to kick the field goal.
And Ben Jones has already made one from 35 yards today. And this game, folks, if you just joined us, took an amazing turn with about 2.5 minutes to go. Kyle Orton trying to convert on a first down, fumbled the ball when he was hit, and Starks ran it into the end zone with a go-ahead score for the Badgers. But Purdue has marched it back to the 25 of the Badgers.
Mark, it's man-free coverage against empty, so it's man-to-man coverage on those slots.
3rd and 13. Incomplete. He threw it behind Hara. And it'll be 4th down. In comes a defining moment for Ben Jones as they'll attempt the field goal. Jones has already made one tonight from 35.
One thing you don't think about much, Villarreal, the defensive tackle, is the deep snapper. Kyle Smith, the strong safety, is the holder. Both those guys, Mark, been over on that sidelines for a while.
Ben Jones from 42 yards out for the tie. To remain perfect on the season, he pushed it to the right. And the Badgers escape one. Ben Jones missing and failing to capitalize on a golden opportunity. That's the first miss of his career from between 40 and 49 yards at a very inauspicious time. And now all Wisconsin has to do is kill a little bit of clock. Four times, folks, the visitor, barring a miracle comeback, will have won in this series.
Mark,
4 times in a row.
There's a fine line between 7-0 Wisconsin going home tonight very happy, and the misery that this Purdue football team and Joe Tiller feels.
And now perhaps the Badgers have a leg up on the Rose Bowl. Next week they play Northwestern. You'll see that game on ESPN at noon. Rose Bowl on their minds. And right now we're going to go to Tennessee and Ole Miss.